Long ago, in a bustling village surrounded by vast grasslands and a golden river that shimmered under the sun, lived a young woman named Amara. Amara was beautiful, with skin that glowed like the morning dew and eyes that mirrored the endless sky. Her laughter was a melody that filled the air, yet behind her enchanting presence lay a story steeped in mystery. She walked through the market square every morning, her basket filled with fresh fruit, but she never looked anyone in the eye. Whispers followed her wherever she went, and people would glance at her with a mix of admiration and pity. They said she was cursed, destined never to marry. The origin of Amara's supposed curse was tied to a tale as old as the Baobab trees that shaded the village square. It was said that her mother, Naya, once made a grave mistake. Naya, known for her charm and beauty, had been courted by many suitors in her youth, but she turned them all away with sharp words and mocking laughter. One fateful day, an old woman cloaked in rags approached Naya and asked for water. Instead of showing kindness, Naya scorned the woman, calling her beggar unworthy of attention. What Naya did not know was that the old woman was a powerful enchantress. Furious, the enchantress cursed Naya's lineage, proclaiming that no daughter born of her blood would ever marry, for they would bring ruin to any man who dared to wed them. Years later, Amara was born, inheriting her mother's radiant beauty but also the weight of the curse. As a child, she was adored by everyone for her charm and kindness. Yet, as she grew older, strange misfortunes began to befall those who expressed their love for her. One boy fell from a tree the day after gifting her a carved wooden flower. Another suitor's farm was mysteriously consumed by fire after he declared his intention to marry her. These incidents, though seemingly coincidental, became too frequent to ignore. The villagers grew fearful, and her admirers began to distance themselves, whispering that the curse was real. Amara, though heartbroken, carried herself with quiet dignity, but every day she felt the weight of loneliness growing heavier on her shoulders. As Amara blossomed into adulthood, her beauty became even more enchanting, but so did the stories of the curse. Suitors came from faraway villages, drawn by her reputation, yet each left hurriedly when they learned of the misfortunes that followed those who pursued her. Amara's solitude became a spectacle, and the villagers treated her like a delicate yet dangerous flower. The elders often warned their sons to admire her from a distance. Still, some were drawn to her gentle spirit and kind heart, unable to believe she could bring harm. However, even the boldest among them could not endure the string of tragedies that always followed: a lost family fortune, a mysterious illness, or even death. Over time, Amara stopped hoping. She avoided the festivals and celebrations where young women danced with potential suitors, choosing instead to wander alone by the golden river, her reflection a reminder of all she could never have. One day, a mysterious traveler arrived in the village. He was a tall man named Kofi, with eyes like burning embers and a calm, confident demeanor that unsettled those who met him. Kofi claimed to be a healer and spoke of his journeys to distant lands, where he had broken curses and healed wounds of both the body and the soul. News of his arrival spread quickly, and whispers filled the air: could this man be the one to end Amara's suffering? When Kofi first laid eyes on Amara at the riverbank, he was struck not just by her beauty but by the sadness that seemed to radiate from her. He approached her gently, his voice like the soothing wind, and asked why she sat alone. Amara, surprised by his presence, hesitated before telling him the story of her curse. Kofi listened intently, his expression thoughtful, and when she finished, he simply said, "Perhaps it is not the curse that binds you but the fear it has planted in everyone's heart." Kofi's words lingered in Amara's mind long after he left. The next day, he returned with an offer: he would try to break the curse, but only if Amara trusted him enough to face her fears. Together, they ventured deep into the forest, where the trees whispered ancient secrets, and the air was thick with mystery. Kofi explained that curses were often born from pain and anger, and the only way to undo them was to confront their source. They soon arrived at the foot of a gnarled baobab tree, older and larger than any Amara had ever seen. "This is where it began," Kofi said solemnly. He lit a small fire and placed herbs into it, creating a fragrant smoke that swirled into the air. As Amara sat by the fire, he asked her to recount every detail of her mother's story and to forgive, not just the enchantress, but also her mother for the choices that led to this pain. As Amara closed her eyes and spoke, her voice trembled with emotion. She told the story of her mother's arrogance, the scornful laughter that had sealed her fate, and the hardships she had endured as a result. The memories felt like daggers, but Kofi's steady presence gave her courage. Through tears, she whispered words of forgiveness, not just for the enchantress and her mother, but for herself, for carrying the burden of shame all these years. Suddenly, the air grew still, and the forest seemed to hold its breath. The fire crackled louder, and the smoke took the form of a woman's face, ancient and sorrowful. It was the enchantress. Her voice, soft yet powerful, echoed through the clearing. "Your heart is pure, child, and your forgiveness has lifted the darkness. The curse is broken, but remember, true freedom lies not in the absence of a curse, but in the strength to live beyond fear." The next morning, Amara awoke to a sense of peace she had never known. The weight that had burdened her heart for so long seemed to lift, as though the curse had truly been broken. For the first time, she felt free from the fear that had bound her, free from the whispers that followed her every step. As she walked back to the village, the sunlight seemed brighter, the air sweeter, and the people, those who once avoided her, now greeted her with warmth and respect. Word spread quickly that the curse had been lifted, and soon, suitors returned, not out of fear but out of admiration for the woman who had faced her darkest fears and emerged stronger. But Amara, with a newfound clarity, realized that true love could not be forced by a curse or the expectations of others. She had freed herself from the shadows of the past, and now, she sought only a love built on understanding, trust, and equality, a love that was hers to choose. Months passed, and Amara lived her life with a sense of fulfillment she had never imagined possible. She no longer felt defined by the curse, nor by the expectations of those around her. Her days were spent nurturing the land, helping others, and embracing the simple joys of life. The village, once filled with fear and suspicion about her, now saw her for the strong, kind-hearted woman she had always been. She never rushed into marriage, for she knew now that she had to be true to herself first. Then, one day, a man came to the village who saw her not as a woman bound by a curse but as a partner, equal in strength and spirit. He was patient, understanding, and admired her resilience. They spent time together, sharing stories and laughter, and over time, a deep bond formed between them. Amara had learned that marriage was not a solution to a problem but a union of two souls, both free and whole. When she finally agreed to marry, it was not because she had to, but because she had found someone who respected and cherished her in all her entirety. The day of the wedding arrived, a day filled with joy and celebration. Amara stood before her people, her heart steady and confident. Her groom, a man who had proven his love through patience and understanding, stood beside her, his eyes full of respect. The villagers, who had once whispered in fear, now watched with admiration as the couple exchanged vows under the shade of the great Baobab tree. Amara's mother, though long past, seemed to watch over her, her spirit at peace, for Amara had not only broken the curse but had reclaimed her own destiny. As they exchanged rings, Amara's heart swelled with a quiet pride. She had found love, not because of destiny or magic, but because she had freed herself from the chains of her past. The day was not just a union of two people, but a testament to the power of forgiveness, self-love, and the strength to live life on one's own terms. In the years that followed, Amara and her husband built a life filled with love, respect, and mutual growth. The curse that had once hung over her like a shadow was but a distant memory, replaced by a new legacy, one of freedom, resilience, and the belief that true love is born not from magic, but from the courage to face life's challenges. Amara had proven that no curse, no matter how deep its roots, could hold a woman who knew her worth. And so, the story of Amara, the woman who once could never marry, became one of hope, reminding all who heard it that the greatest power lies within oneself. From powerful stories like this is why she can never get married, to other touching narratives of love, sacrifice, and resilience, our channel brings the rich traditions and lessons of the past to life through narration and storytelling. Each story is designed to leave you with a lasting message, offering both entertainment and deep reflections on life. Join our growing community of story lovers and let us take you on an unforgettable adventure with every new video. Whether you're seeking stories that inspire, educate, or simply entertain, you'll find something special here. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss a new story. Dive into a world where every tale is a step toward understanding the complexities of love, life, and the wisdom passed down through generations.